Welcome back. We are still on the topic quadratic functions. In the previous video, we solved a question on solving a quadratic equation. In this video, we are going to solve another question. The question for this video is, find the roots of 2x squared minus 7 is equal to 0. So our quadratic equation is 2x squared minus 7 is equal to 0. Once again, the quadratic expression in this equation is a binomial. It has two terms, 2x squared minus 7. In the previous video, we learned that whenever you have an expression like this in a quadratic equation, that is, when you have a square term minus a constant, you have to check whether you can write the quadratic expression as a difference of two squares. So let's do that here. We have 2x squared minus 7. If you look at it, you can see that you can't express 7 as a square of any number. So in this case, we can't write this quadratic expression here as a difference of two squares. So sometimes the quadratic expression will look like this, but you won't be able to express it as a difference of two squares. In that case, what we will do is that we will send 7 over to the right hand side. So we have 2x squared is equal to 7. Then we will divide the left hand side by 2. We will divide the right hand side by 2. We will see that 2 here will cancel 2. So we will have x squared is equal to 7 divided by 2. From the videos on change of subject, we learned that when you get to this point and you want to make x the subject of the equation, or you want to find x, what you have to do is that you take square roots of both sides. So we take square root of the left hand side and we take square root of the right hand side. Now here is one thing that you have to know. Whenever you take square root of a number, you will have two answers. You will have the positive square root and the negative square root. Now this is what I mean. Let's say that we have this equation, x squared is equal to 2. We have seen that in order to find x, we will have to take square roots of both sides. So we take square root of the left hand side, we take square root of the right hand side. In the video on sets, we learned that whenever you take square root of a squared number, the square and the square root will cancel. So here the square and the square root will cancel each other out and we'll be left with x. Now what we are saying is that when you take square root of a number, you have two answers. You have the positive square root and the negative square root. So here when you take square root of 2, we will have two answers for x. We will have the positive square root, which is square root of 2, and the negative square root, which is minus square root of 2. So here you have two answers for x. Square root of 2, which is the positive square root, and minus square root of 2, which is the negative square root. So the same thing applies here. When you take square root of 7 divided by 2, you have the positive square root, which is square root of 7 divided by 2, and the negative square root, which is minus square root of 7 divided by 2. So the roots of this equation is square root of 7 divided by 2 and minus square root of 7 divided by 2. So when you have a quadratic binomial of this nature in the equation, and you can't write the expression as a difference of two squares, you go through this procedure in order to find the solution or the roots of the equation. When we did that for this equation, we are having the roots of the equation as square root of 7 divided by 2 and minus square root of 7 divided by 2. We have learned how to use our calculators to find the roots or the solution of an equation. So you can try that on this example. You will see that you arrive at the same answers that we have here. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel for more videos. In the next video, we are going to learn how to find a quadratic equation when the roots of the quadratic equation are given to you. Bye bye.